Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
When a woman hurts, she has a tendency to stay silent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the job for a man is to identify that because we can feel it. We can see it.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice in business, you're in the right place. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, empowerment coach, visibility and marketing expert, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Hi, Nordine. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello, Marta. Glad to be here with you.
Yes. So I met Nordine at my mentor's Gary Barnes conference, his business breakthrough boot camp. And Nordine was one of the speakers. And I was already drawn to him because of his amazing accolades, which he will share in a minute, and his life journey. But I got to hear him on stage, and he shared a message that actually surprised me. I did not expect this coming from someone such as himself, but everything will make sense as we start talking more. So Nordine, tell us who you are and what you do, and we'll get right into it.
Yeah, my name is Nordine Zouareg, and who am I? Well, I'm still asking myself, who am I? And, you know, I'm a lot of things, So I'm going to give you a little background history, short but sweet, because I know we don't have much time here. I come from a humble family of 13 kids, father and mom, 9 sisters.
Wow.
That's what my message, why my message and how my message started to unfold and live in, you know, in such a wonderful family, but a lot of female energy, so to speak, that really taught me a lot. And that's why, I say what I say. I was born in the back of a French army truck from Bedouin parents, Berber, from North African Berbers. And I was born premature, 3 months premature.
Wow.
And my mom always remind me that part of me is still buried in the desert because they had to stop the truck and bury the placenta. So part of me is still in there, and she said, "You're not all there, son." Okay. So she likes to say these things to me. And so fast forward, my parents immigrated to France to seek medical attention for me. I was diagnosed with Rickets, which is a malnutrition, vitamin D deficiency. And for 2 years, I was in and out of hospitals. Growing up in France wasn't the best. I wish my parents moved to the US right away, but they moved to France. And that was a very hostile environment, AKA racism, AKA bullies. I know a thing or two about being bullied. So that's why it morphed into the willingness and desire to do something about it. So I started doing gymnastics, didn't work too well. And I was, my coach then suggested that I do weightlifting. So I did some weightlifting and I started liking it. You know, I saw a little muscle here, a little muscle there. And I started, manifesting more desire to do more of it, but not for the aspect of being big and walking, the ego aspect. I really wanted, Marta, I wanted a shield to protect me because of the things that I experienced growing up. And so I wanted to be my own superhero, so to speak, and it worked. It worked. So that took me to a professional athlete career for 15 years, went around the world, met a lot of incredible people, and so on and so forth. And that led to me working with an incredible place called Miraval. It was a dude ranch that we were asked to transform. So we did. And we transformed Miraval into a number one resort spa in the world, 5 years consecutively. So from there, I moved on to writing. I published a couple of books, traditionally published, and so on and so forth. And who am I? Well, I'm a coach. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm all that, and I'm a big fan of women's rights.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men are going to hear this and think, how does a bodybuilder like egomaniac people like that, become, because it's an obsession, with all due respect, can be an obsession to be, at the top and of that sport. But anyway, so that's to answer your question. That's what I am, and that's who I am.
Wow. Well, and that's the point that I actually wanted to make, is how does somebody like you, like you said, it comes with the stereotypes, would have such a message who would be such a proponent of women's rights and talking about the importance of women? Because you did, I think you left it out, but you did win 2 Mr. Universe titles.
Yes, I'm a former Mr. France, Mr. Europe, Mr. World, Mr. World overall, Mr. Universe twice. Yeah, absolutely. I used to brag about it all the time, and then as you get older, you're like, okay, well, this ring represents something. People ask me why you're still wearing it. Well, that's because it reminds me of the hard work. So if I stumble upon difficulties in what I do right now, I just look at it and it reminds me, hey, this is a piece of cake.
Yeah. No, that's super powerful. Well, let me share with you my experience in hearing you speak at the conference, because I knew of you. Gary had told me, who you were. And in hearing you talk, and you opened up your talk saying, I'm going to say something, and some people are not going to be happy about this, especially the men. And I was like, what the heck is he going to say? And especially in hearing you share about you being born premature, because I have triplets and they were born premature, obviously.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So I understand. I was not premature myself, but I did give birth to 3.
Yeah, you understand
children.
it.
Yeah. And, but what really touched me, and I want you to go ahead and share, I don't want to say it myself, but it touched me what you said about women, because it made me think about what I did in carrying, delivering, and now raising 3 kids, while also building my business and encouraging other women to pursue their dreams, whether they are moms or not, but really believe in their potential and in their strength. So I'd love for you to share what you believe in, this message. And it's fun to hear that a lot of it came from being surrounded by so many women growing up.
Yeah. And so, like I said earlier, being surrounded by all my life by women, growing up with 9 sisters and my mom, that's 10, working with people, my own staff at Miraval had 10 women and 1 guy, not because I prefer to hire women, but because that's who wanted to work for us and do a fantastic job. But more than that, it's my relationship and my experience with women, working with women, because in my profession as a wellness and high performance coach and fitness, a lot of women are more, I'd say, more committed to the health and well-being than men. Men, have a tendency to not be in denial, but to just forget about it. And so women, that's why I work and still work with a lot of women. The message that I bring every time I speak and wherever I go is one that is a reminder to men specifically, and to women, to for them to understand that who they are and what they represent here. Men's responsibility is great, of course, we here to understand each other, to love each other unconditionally without asking for things. And for me, growing up and seeing how women can be treated is very hurtful to me. It's heartbreaking to see that. So the message is this: when if we anyone who's watching this, if you look to your left and then to your right, you'll see walls or whatever you see. Uh, and that, for instance, the wall or the pen has been made. Somebody thought about making a pen, so they made it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who's that someone? That someone comes from the womb of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the truth, then it's the truth for everything we see that is man-made, right?
Yes.
So it comes directly from a woman. If that is so, then the woman is the cradle of humanity. Everything or nothing could be possible without a woman. Not only that, but she's the one who does most of the work. Think about it, guys. What do we do? Not only we have pleasure doing it, but for some of us who are lucky enough, it can last a little bit, or uh, you know what I mean. So that is what we get, and what is our contribution to that is, I think that giving support to women, loving women, and not look at her as an inferior individual. So there are research on why women are underpaid for the same job. They're trying to find this logic about why women's movement and everything else. There is no reason other than uh, women is underpaid, and that's it. We need to be clear about it. Okay, so we need to look at women as the cradle of humanity. Okay, she is, like I said, when I growing up, seeing my own mom raising 13 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how did she do it? I don't think it's possible for us men to realize, not only the process of birth, which is still a miracle.
Yes.
Okay. It's still a miracle. We don't understand it. We cannot be you because we're not geared, or we don't have, we don't possess that strength that you guys have, that everything comes built in, with that process of birth. You give birth to the kid, and then you're carrying him or her here for the rest of your life.
Right.
The work never stops.
Mm-mm.
So if that's so, why is a woman not respected as she should be respected? That's the big question that I ask most of men and also women, because I think that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I tell my sisters all the time. They call me all the time when they have a relationship issue, whatever, and I say, stand up, okay, and connect to your self-worth. That indicates that no one is superior or inferior to you. Okay, you are a unique person, a unique individual.
Yeah.
And more so because you create life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if that is so, then no man should be able to hurt a woman.
Mm-hmm.
If women stood up to their rights and connected to that self-worth by saying, hey, wait a minute, you're not going to talk to me like this. You're not going to say these hurtful things to me, because I have the power, not you.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional hurt that we see in relationship and otherwise at work, and that preconceived notion that, even some women think that way, that this job is, I get paid this because the man is superior in that position.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bunch of baloney.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how can a woman for a same job or a man for the same job be more superior and get paid more? This is the question that I don't think any man could answer. And
Right.
if they answer it, they'll probably use the right way, which is the ego way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not gonna. I'm sure there are men that think like me. Of course, there
Yeah.
are. But the majority of people that I spoke to, and that's why I don't have many men friends, by the way, because the conversation that take place
Yeah.
is not a pleasant one, and it's automatic. That's the way this what do they call it, locker room conversations,
Right.
and that's disrespectful, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's my message.
Mm-hmm.
Women is a cradle of humanity. She should be respected as such. She creates life, which is a miracle, by the way.
Yeah.
And men, we have great responsibility as well. But the greatest responsibility that man has is to respect women.
Mm-hmm.
That's the greatest responsibility. When men start disrespectful, with awareness, they can step back, apologize, or not do it at all if they can catch themselves before saying or doing something not pleasant to a woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow, this is such a great reminder for women too. That was why I wanted you to share. I know there are some guys that listen to my show too, but I think this is great coming from a man to hear.
Yeah, I think you have to get there. Marta, you have to listen. I'm not going to say I wasn't macho before. Of course, when you walk around with titles, money, fame, and everything else, you have a tendency to, want to, be like they expect you to be. But if you start having, depending on the level of consciousness that one has, you stumble upon yourself and you look at yourself and you start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
And the answers, that if most men ask themselves the right questions, the answers are not going to be pleasant, but they're going to be a step forward into respecting women.
Yeah. And something else that you shared when you spoke was the connection between that and health and wellness of your physical body and all the other parts involved. And that is also something that you cover in your book. So I'd love for you to touch on that as well. Yeah. And especially with your experience with learning in your journey.
Yeah. So the women's body is, an incredibly complex and beautiful thing, and we still don't understand some of the things that happen in there. But stress, emotional stress can also be directly triggered by the things that women go through, like a lot of things, menopause, weight gain, all kinds of things that are not pleasant to women, and that is directly connected to the emotional well-being of a woman. And men, we have a tendency to not see that. We have a tendency not to listen to the things unspoken. When a woman hurts, she has a tendency to stay silent. The job for a man is to identify that, because we can feel it, we can see it. But all we offer, most men offer, support, like, well, I'm going to get you a trainer, or I'm going to buy some supplements so you can, start a diet. But that's not the conversation that you need to have. The conversation is a lot deeper, and the conversation is this: please do not disrespect me. Do not turn your back on me when I am going through all these things: pregnancy, postpartum depression, all these things that women go through. men have a tendency to turn their back because they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So they prefer to step away, but that's even more stressful for women. She needs love. She needs support. She needs someone to be there during the whole process and beyond. Okay, so there is a connection between women's well-being and the self-worth. So when people ask me, what do you mean by self-worth, not self-esteem? Well, self-worth is a whole different beast. It's something that comes from within. Okay, it tells you that you are a unique individual that already have won the greatest battle ever. You were born. You fought in your mom's womb, woman's womb.
Yeah.
With millions of other sperms, and boom, you won the greatest battle. That is a gift of life. And that is what women need to be connected. All you need to do is connect to it. You don't have to do any work at all.
Right.
Just take a deep breath and connect to the fact that you are a unique person. You won the greatest battle or the greatest competition. You call it whatever you want to call it, but you have been chosen like everyone else, like the Pope, like the president, like anyone has the same value, life, breath. Okay, so when women and men, but since we're talking about women, can connect to that self-worth, take a deep breath. The challenge is coming. Take a deep breath. Remember who you are. Remember that happiness is not something you get or you buy. It's something that is already within you. You connect to it. It's a state of being.
Yeah. Oh, it's so powerful. Thank you so much for all these truths and reminders. Well, I'd love for you to share how people can find you and your book as well. What is the name? And I'll be sure and share the links as well. But
so the latest book that came out during the pandemic, by the way, is Inner Fitness. In Inner Fitness, I talk about what we talked about and a lot more. So you can find it on Amazon or other bookstores. And what I do, I have a website, and it's NordineZouareg.com, NordineZouareg.com. In there, I offer, of course, coaching, personal coaching, group coaching, corporate wellness programs, retreats at private wellness retreat at top resorts here in Arizona. And I also have a 90-day challenge, reset challenge, where people sign up and we identify where they want to go and we go there together. Okay. So that's basically, and I'm on social media everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, pretty much everywhere.
Awesome. And I love the name, Inner Fitness. It describes it beautifully.
Inner Fitness, one word. Yeah.
Yes. Before I let you go, I want to ask you my $1 million question that I end every episode with. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is an empowered woman? I think you already said that, but I'll make you say it again.
An empowered woman is a woman that finally takes the courage to connect to her higher self, her self-worth, that has the courage to uplift herself and stand up to all challenges, whatever and whoever they are. That's an empowered woman. An empowered woman knows that she can be whatever she wants, not others. She wants. She can do it.
So good. And I will add, based on what you said, my takeaway, the empowered woman is a woman that remembers she is the cradle of humanity. That is powerful. Every day, take a deep breath and connect with that truth.
Absolutely. And that what you say is what connects you directly to your self-worth. When you say to yourself, I am the cradle of humanity, boom, I'm already connected.
That's so
How
good.
many, how many men can say that? None.
None.
Zero.
Oh,
That's the truth, though.
it is the truth.
You know, when a man can see it for what it is, for the truth, that already makes a man empowered. Why? Because he finally understands the truth that's been held down for so many thousands of years.
Right.
And now we need to understand it.
Yes. Let's speak up. Talk
Yep.
about this truth. Thank you so much for doing that and for sharing with us, for taking the time. I appreciate it. It was a great conversation.
You're very welcome, Marta.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends, or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.